Namaste, my friends. Another great episode of Mountaintop Wisdom. Your favorite host, Baba Kush. We are sitting in the beautiful Goa, about 5 minutes from the beach. I was blessed to have a chance to spend a week here in Goa. And I met this beautiful gentleman here. His name is Zou Zou, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Perfect.
Perfect. So today we are going to talk a little bit about the Goa experience, what's Goa all about, and how do you see Goa, and what can you recommend to people who are interested in coming here. Zou Zou, can you be so kind and tell us a little bit about yourself? How old are you? Where do you come from?
Well, actually, I'm born in the States.
Okay.
Yeah, and but I've lived at least probably more than half of my life in Amsterdam, in Netherlands, and in Europe. Originally, I was juggling in
Hi, everybody.
I was juggling in San Francisco. I went on vacation to Mexico, and on the beach in Mazatlan, I met some jugglers, and that was, in French, they call it the coup de foudre.
Coup de foudre.
Coup de foudre, which is the strike of lightning.
Wow.
And so suddenly that was my passion. And then for the next couple of years, a year and a half or so, I was just fascinated by it. And eventually I got in my car and started making little shows and worked my way down to San Francisco, where I performed for quite a few years in front of the cable car turnaround.
Okay.
Yeah. And in the meantime, in those actually 5 years, I was also went to lived in Hawaii for 5 months.
Wow.
And also went to Asia for the first time, also for about 5 months, traveling with my juggling little show. And so that was my original fascination. And I found a place there where the cable car turns around, and my show would be just as long as it took for the next cable car to come down.
Okay.
And then it was, and I would pass my hat, and whatever you'd like to put in the hat, I'd be glad to say thank you.
Wow.
And that was how I began, and started taking different classes, singing classes, pantomime classes, and things like this.
Okay, well, it sounds like you had quite an amazing journey. I travel a lot as well. I've seen some of the world, not all of it, but I do have a good amount of experience now. Both of us are sitting here in Goa, and from all the places, why Goa?
Actually, for a long time, my parents were living in Florida. So then for a long time, my good friend, who was a Tai Chi teacher and spiritual healing teacher, he kept on suggesting to me to come to Goa. He said, oh, it's international, it's fascinating, and what everything else. But at the time, it was more important for me to go back to visit my parents. And so I could afford to go to visit my parents in Florida. And that was enough in 1 year. So I did that for about 5 years, and the last 5 years of their lives. And then I would go further to the Caribbean and go to one island or another island for 2-3 weeks, and then come back. And then at a certain point, they passed on, and then I was free to come here, and I decided to come here, and I've been coming here ever since. And of course, I found I was always looking for a beach where I could do yoga and do meditation and just take a break from my performance world.
Right.
And so I had originally gone to France, and I went there specifically to learn French, and also I went to a pantomime school.
Wow.
So then I got into the whole different aspects of performance.
Okay.
Would you like anything here? Oh, just a second.
Now,
This one's good. Take it for later.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
You mentioned Goa is an international type of destination. Now, when I was planning my trip to India, I talked with a lot of people from different walks of life, and all of them had the same advice. Think about what it is that you're trying to get from India, and when you're going to go, you're going to find it. So India is a unique experience on its own. And Goa, I'm imagining, is a unique experience within a unique experience, if I might say that. Do you agree with something like that?
Yeah, I think that's pretty true.
Okay. Now, I spent about a week here walking around, trying to get the vibe, talking with different people, eating at different restaurants, going from one community to another. And what I noticed that there are a lot of localized little communities who share the same, I guess, interests, so to speak, and they kind of bond together. Now, that's what I noticed during the day, but usually in the evening, I see that all of those different communities, they kind of come together and unite in some celebration of life, if you might say, just chilling on the beach, joining the drum circles or things like that. They communicate, they interact. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, they watch the sunset, but they also, have you been mostly here in Arambol?
Mostly here in Arambol, correct.
Yeah. So, as you go up and down the coast, then there's each place has its own magnetic power and has its own mini culture. So Arambol has been very blessed because there's a lot of artists and a lot of musicians, live musicians. And different places have different magnets. So some places I've been more, as you go to Anjuna or Baga or Kalingut or Kandalim, as you go down the coast, each one of them has its own attraction and its own kind of people. So what you'll find here will be not quite the same as you'll find in each one of them.
I totally understand. Yeah. So, now you mentioned that there's a lot of artists here, and me being an artist myself, I express myself through different hobbies, if you might say so. And the most important aspect for an artist, and that's my personal opinion, is the ability to express itself freely. Do you feel that Goa has that opportunity for anybody from around the world just to come here and share with the local communities, with the rest of the world, the vision that they have?
I think it's a very good canvas.
Okay.
Yeah. So because I'm an artist and I've done many different kinds of art, and so I started off with the juggling, then I've been to pantomime school, and then I've created different objects for open air festivals and performed with them, and then I've been writing songs and singing and making 1-man, 2-man, 3-man shows. And so I wound up choosing Amsterdam because that was also a good place as a residence and relaxedness and a canvas for my ability to do the different art forms I was interested in at that time, and it changes over time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing that I noticed, I had a chance to live in Mumbai, and I stayed there for about...
Santé.
Pleasure. Wow. I stayed in Mumbai for about a week, and one thing I noticed is that people are very open, people are very sincere, and their hearts are open, their minds are open, they're easy to communicate, they're easy to help, and they see me as a human being, first of all, not as a tourist. Here in Goa, it's a little bit different vibe. People are always kind, but the feeling that I get is that they look at me through the prism of tourism. Is that something that's correct?
Sure.
Okay. Now,
not always, fortunately.
Okay.
And also it depends on how many tourists there are in that particular town. Mm-hmm. So if you go to the next town, which is Kitty, then there's less tourism and it's a little bit more. The prism is not of being a tourist is not quite so strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In your opinion, for somebody who is considering Goa as a destination to visit and to express himself, what do you think would be a good advice? What do you think would be the journey that person has to go through in order for him to comfortably go to Goa, or anybody can go, it's the doors are always open, or how do you go about that?
Like, the door is open. It's just, you'll find, you know, because I've gone to, in my time, let's say, going to those 5 different years in the Caribbean, I was often going to the beach and looking for different cultures,
Okay.
and seeing how I related to the different cultures. And when I came here, I found like it was most place that was most homey, I felt at home. And you know, not every place in the world has the same ability to say, okay, go ahead, do it. So, and different cultures have different abilities to accept the unusual. And most artists have at least one side of them that's unusual.
True.
Good morning. And so they're accepting. And that's an important part of it being a canvas.
Wow, that's an amazing perspective. That's exactly the understanding that I had before I came here. The way international community sees Goa, and that's again my understanding, I might be wrong, is a place where you go and you kind of find yourself, if that makes any sense.
Yes and no. I mean, it all depends. You know, some places, some people just go to rave parties. You know, there's, like I said, there's different attraction points.
Correct.
And some people say, let's dance. And they dance for 5 hours. And
Okay, sounds like fun.
yes, everybody has their cup of tea. And
I understand.
so there is a certain party culture, rave culture
Right.
in parts of Goa. And that's not been exactly what's really attracted me. I've been more attracted to the live music and the live performance and the smaller venues, and not the mass festivals.
Okay. Now, based on everything we talked about now, Goa has that specific, I'll call it spiritual fire that's always burning. And the fuel for that fire comes from the place itself, or from the
absolutely,
international
both.
people who come here.
Well, both. It has something in and of itself.
So the place has something in itself, and then the people from international communities come together and they add fuel to that fire just to keep it going. Am I understanding you correctly?
Yeah, that's right. And also there's some physical realities to this particular place, and that is that you don't actually need a motorbike to get around.
Right.
You know, some parts of Goa you do. So if everything is dispersed, then you need to get on your own scooter in order to go to supper. And here you don't need that. Quite a few people have their own scooter or their own means of transport. But here it's not absolutely necessary, just the way the physicality of the place is. And so that attracts another kind of energy. You don't have, hey, where you go? Where are we going for supper?
I totally understand.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective. I used to live in Los Angeles for most of my life, and for me, even going to the grocery store was an hour drive, an hour experience, so to speak. And if I wanted to go to the beach, I had to plan that the whole day, that I'm gonna go to the beach and I'm gonna do this. But Goa is more localized, and you have different experiences, different cultures within the hand's reach, so to speak. Am I understanding you correctly?
Yeah, it's absolutely right.
Fantastic.
And also, you know, India is much more mom and pop stores.
Okay.
And that's what I think is part of the beauty of it. It's because you have a different interaction with someone who has their own store, or it's a family store. And it does not yet, let's see what happens, does not yet have the chains and the franchises to the extent that certainly American culture does.
True.
Yeah, so that makes a difference in the mentality of hello, how are you? You still have that hello, how are you? But there is a difference when it's a small store rather than a mega franchise.
Now that you mentioned, I almost forgot about this hello, how are you experience. That's a California thing, I guess, at least for me. But here, it was a blessing for me to experience the sincerity and the kindness of the local peoples. And I know exactly what you're talking about, especially here in Goa, with the weather is beautiful, everybody's coming together, everybody's accepting, everybody's welcoming, which is an amazing experience. Another question is, uh, you said Goa is a canvas. Now, it's a canvas to express yourself as well as a place to absorb, in a way that you come here and you get immersed in different cultures, different experiences. Now, does that help a person become more rounded individual, or does that help you like find yourself in a way? If that makes any sense?
Yeah, you meet other people who have similar interests of expanding their vision, if I can put it in those words.
Okay, but what I'm trying to see is, yeah, definitely you can hop on a plane and go to Goa and find a community that shares the same vision, shares the same interest as you do, but it would be pretty much same experience you've been living in all your life. Only difference is that now you're living the same experience in Goa. What I'm going for is, does Goa promote the expansions of your mind, of your understanding of the world, of the human experience in a way?
Yeah, because I think so, but
Okay.
that's everybody's personal journey. But if and when you come here, you find other people that are not only interested in your particular aspect of your journey, but others that have another viewpoint on it, and other people. I prefer to call it happiness research
Fitness research. Okay.
rather than spirituality, because then it has another aspect of it. But I think that when people start to find their own positivity, they in general become happier. Not always. There's always bumps in the road,
Okay.
and that's part of the game.
Of course.
But that is something that I've found here, and it's because I'm also a songwriter, and so I saw the difference. What happened to me when I came here, and that I was because I've previously been interested in meditation and reading books of people who have more wisdom and all that, but I saw that my writing changed. It's still a big tendency to be a bit of a wink of the eye.
That's a very good example of freedom of expression. And the question that I had was, is Goa more about the beach, or it's more about the people?
You know, over time, people come and they decide to, some people come and they want to live here. And some people who live here hardly ever go to the beach. Some people do. So it's, in a way, there's a community of people and their particular interests. So one wants to make clay cups, and one wants to teach salsa, and one wants to study meditation, or all three. And so, and sometimes they may only go down to the beach to watch the sun go down, or not at all. So there's I think there's a beach world, and there's also the community world inside.
For international viewers who are watching our video, let's say I'm sitting home and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should go to Goa, maybe I should go to Hawaii, maybe I should go to any other different exotic country. Why should I choose Goa? Why should I go to Goa over the other destinations that are available to me?
Well, the community that's developed here was originally mostly European
Descent.
Yeah, people from Europe that would come here for 3 or 4 months, and some people stayed in India the whole year, and they're India goers, and then they would go up north when the monsoon came. And over time, different communities have come in here. So now there's a very large Russian community and a very artistic as well, power. And there's increasingly also Indian artists.
Okay.
So this is a fascinating thing of the growth and change of Indian culture as well. So what has previously been a European enclave with local people is increasingly a mixture of the European, West European, Russian-speaking language areas, and Indian artists. So it's become a mixture, and not too many people are coming from the States. It's relatively, I think, unknown. Most people, I think, in the States think, "Oh, India, dirty," and there's some truth to it, but there's also the depth of Indian culture is just is very amazing. It's very amazing because there is a whole there's just an amazing depth to it, and sometimes people are able, without being preachers in the church, but they have the ability to express very deep thoughts, and that I don't get everywhere in the world. Yeah. Okay. So this is something that I really appreciate. Yeah.
Okay. I teach Tantra, and I travel the world with an open heart, if you might say that. And and I lived in different places, and in some of those places, I noticed that they are local communities, local international communities, where just people from different cultures come and they live in that community, and they bring the good things and the bad things from their communities. Now, throughout my travels and during my lifetime, one thing that was most difficult for me to understand was and accept is that good people and bad people can be found anywhere in the world. So the question is, here in Goa, you mentioned there's people from different parts of the world. Now, is it the same type of, how would I say this, experience where they come and they create those local communities and they bring the good and the bad, or it's mostly people coming here with an open heart and the desire to kind of have a taste of spirituality and express themselves and become a better person, if you may?
I think mix. Both sides
Okay.
are real, I think. This is my opinion.
Okay.
It certainly had a very big effect on my life. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So it just has an amazing depth. And first I was going to the Caribbean, and Caribbean has an amazing groove, and there's dancing in the air.
Okay.
And the normal carnivals here, because there are normal carnivals,
Yes.
it's shanti.
Shanti. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
which doesn't mean that they're grooving. It's more like respectful and watching the objects go by. I've been to Trinidad, and then that's a very different experience. That's a groovy Caribbean experience for a carnival. And here is very different than the other carnivals in Goa, which are in the relatively small, big cities, relatively. And but it's the community here that's very active and very both artistically and spiritually, and as a relaxed vibe.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I first came to India, I lived in Mumbai for about a week.
Oh.
And when I was abroad, I watched a lot of videos about India. And the first thing that I thought was kind of a surprise for me was watching videos that show Indian traffic. And you see this hectic movement of ant-like humans and vehicles and motorcycles, and everything just looks so chaotic. And I came to Mumbai, and the first day I was trying to see what's going on, what's all this vibe all about. And the skill that helped me to understand and connect to the local community was situational awareness. where I would basically understand what's going on around me, why are they always honking, and then I got that vibe really, really fast, and now I'm walking down those streets. I'm not looking around, I'm not trying to figure out, am I gonna get run over by somebody? I know I'm safe. And in all the time that I've been here, I haven't seen a single accident. On the same note, if I was in the States or anywhere in Europe, sometimes I might drive down, the road, and I might see 3, 4, 5 accidents in a single day. And people over there, they have the driving licenses and they're all professionally trained drivers, la 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 la. And that was the skill for me that helped me to connect and understand India. Now, for people coming to Goa, what might be some of the skills, if any, that would help them to connect and understand Goa?
Maybe you've seen the last minute I started smiling extra.
Okay.
Because behind you is this parrot puppet.
Oh goodness.
Yes, and
Okay.
as you were talking, the parrot was touching your shoulder. So go ahead, move left, right. No. Stay connected.
Okay.
And go there. So can you turn around? Can you see what's happening?
Okay.
So you were talking about situational awareness, and the parrot was joining with you. So there, and I just decided to call him Seymour.
Okay.
Because he tries to see more.
More. Okay.
Yeah.
So going back to the question, what do you think would be some if any, or skill, this skill that...
Try to see more.
Try to see more. I got the message. Try to see more. Okay. Just come with an open heart, open mind,
Yeah.
and the experience will happen. I guess.
Usually I found also when I was traveling, because I've been for very many years been performing in Europe, and then I would take a 2, 3, 4 week vacation, and then after about a couple of weeks, just going to the beach is no longer satisfying. And then you wind up either wanting to be a tourist and see new sights, or you want to go and learn something. So I think that's often the case in my case, and I think other people's as well.
Okay.
After a while, you just don't only want to be browner or redder or swimmier or whatever, and you learn something, or you have an instrument with you, and you spend time with your instrument, and I think it's handy. Everybody, bring an instrument. So bring an instrument, everybody. Bring an instrument,
Okay.
and bring a portable instrument.
Okay.
That's been my experience as a traveler and whatever, and so that when you're free time, you have a chance to play whatever you want to play with, whether it's just a drawing pad, or whether it's a harmonica or a ukulele or a flute or something transportable. And then, of course, I think we're relating to this whole idea of spirituality, and I think there's the process of taking in the positive vibes that are all around us, and having something, your own particular joy and your own particular way of expressing it, or helping others.
Sounds like a paradise.
Not so bad.
Not so bad. Okay.
Yeah, but also as a traveler in many other countries, it's very nice to have something that you can either you do your meditation or whatever your particular style of connecting with something bigger, stronger, insider, or whatever, and a way of expressing it, going in and going out, and so or helping others is also part of the going out. Just
Now,
my idea.
based on your experience, so you spend quite a bit of time here. I would imagine you've seen many people. Now, for most of the people coming to Goa, is this a final destination, or this is just a transit point?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
So it's
So, there's many people that come to India and they say, "Oh, I don't want to go to Goa."
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to go to Goa. It's too Western, or it's too Western oriented, or it's too much tourism, and it's okay. And some people prefer to go to ashrams, or they prefer to go traveling, or to go to different parts of India and stay there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, whatever is there, whatever touches them. and some people use Goa as a base, and then they stay here most of the time, and then they can go explore other places. My flatmate is going today to go to Tiruvannamalai, which is a spiritual center where Maharishi used to teach, is Mount Arunachala there, and then she will come back, and people use Goa as a base for going to other places and coming back, and of course there's many people who live in that Mount Arunachala area, and that's their base. And some people decide that they want to spend a lot of months here. Some people go back and forth between Europe or wherever they're from, and Seymour is very busy today, and that's a good name. I never actually quite had a name for him before. Congratulations, you made me think of a new name. And so yeah, that's all these possibilities. And when I first came, because I'd been traveling quite a bit with my performances, I'd already been through lots of different parts of Asia and many places in Europe, and 1 or 2 places in Africa as well, and the Caribbean. So I first came here and I went, oh wow, this is more what I'm looking for. Yeah, because it has a beach and has a tropical reality, and I'm not one who loves cold, and so it felt, oh, this is interesting. And I saw, because previously, by going, also a question of monetarily, when going to the Caribbean and other parts of the world, there's a question of how much does it cost for a lodging.
Right.
The lodging in the Caribbean is a lot more expensive than it is here in Africa also.
Right.
Yeah. So Southeast Asia in general has a relatively more inexpensive world for lodging. And it's not like going to Vienna or going to Africa. Because Africa, my little experience was, it's at least 20, 30 euros a night. And here, it's not. So depending upon big cities, it is expensive here.
Right.
But in smaller places, it's not. So that's also a cost factor that makes it more accessible for people to say, oh, I think I can spend 3 months here and go back to my job, instead of I think I can spend 3 weeks here. And by having 3 months, you have a chance to learn things and grow in different ways.
Okay. Going back to the beautiful carnival that you create on the beach. You mentioned that the carnival is a foundation for people to experience themselves in a different way, in a different format. Now, it sounds to me that this is the similar concept of Goa itself, where people can come and they can express themselves and they can experience themselves. Do you think there's a connection? Do you think there's...
Sure.
Okay. Do you have any maybe stories that you want to share of people finding themselves, dressed up as a dolphin, and they're like, oh my God, I've been a dolphin all my life. I'm so excited. Thank God I found myself here in Goa being a dolphin, or something like that. Anything that's just
nothing comes to mind specifically.
Nothing comes to mind. Okay.
But there's, I have tons of pictures of people and the art installations and whatever. And many people wait for the carnival, and then they decide to go somewhere else afterwards. And the carnival is related to the calendar of the Catholic Church, and so that it varies every year when the normal carnival is, and we are usually a couple of days in front of it.
Okay.
But so it's never really, but it's usually in February.
So the carnival is an event that happens at a specific time, where I would imagine people would wait for it, they would prepare for it, and then when the carnival happens, it's a celebration of of human kindness, human experience coming together and expressing itself in that particular time frame. Now, is that the same type of expression that's happening in Goa daily?
Well, people are not usually dancing on the street,
But they're expressing
but they're
themselves.
expressing themselves. But I don't think I have a clear answer for that. Yeah,
Let's say Carnival is a celebration of life,
yes.
and everybody's waiting for that celebration. And when it comes, they just release whatever they had inside and celebrate life.
Yeah, but there's also people who go dancing a lot here. There's an ecstatic dance festival. There's a contact dance festival. There's quite a few places to go and enjoy music. And there's different places to go to dance. It's not like they're all waiting for this one event. To the contrary, there's all kinds of possibilities, and some people they just want to just hang out and not. Some people say, listen, I need, like my flatmate friend is going. He says, listen, I need to go to a place without my telephone and to be quiet and to relax without the impulses of socializing.
Totally understand.
So it's all part of the overall gestalt.
I do have good understanding, at least I think I do have a decent understanding of the concept of Goa, of the freedom, of openness, and the comparison that you shared with me. I think it's an amazing one when you said it's a canvas. I think it says it all about Goa and creates a deeper level of understanding. Anything else that you feel you want to share with our viewers?
Yes, I'm ready. Ready?
Hey, I'm ready.
Viewers, are you ready? Here it is. So over the years, then fortunately by being here and imbuing the vibe, then I've come up with a couple of things that I have made. And one of them is this. And then this is a sticker. And it's a sticker that says, Happy Thoughts.
Happy thoughts.
Yeah. So this is, and my expression is, you got this?
We got this.
Happy thoughts are like boomerangs.
Okay.
They come back in unusual ways.
Okay.
So you may not get what you have been hoping to get, but you might get something else that is part of the wonder.
Sounds more like karma, my friend.
Well, maybe. So here's Happy Thoughts, and it's a sticker. You can put it anywhere you like. And I've been fortunate enough I found that symbol, and then I attached the name Happy Thoughts to it.
That's exactly what I would have said. Happy Thoughts if I didn't even see the bottom name. It's just Happy Thoughts right away. It says it all. Amazing. This is beautiful. I like it. I'll put it here, my friend.
That's great. Look at that.
Okay. And I see you had some stickers printed out as well. What is
Yeah, well, actually, I have my own money.
My goodness.
Yes, why not?
Okay.
Everybody makes money.
Okay, I like that.
And this is, so I've been a songwriter, and I still am.
Okay.
And this is a song that's called Enjoy Your... So each of the... there it is. You ready? So each of them has some lyrics from... So it was just a brainstorm. And fortunately, I had a wonderful friend with me to help me choose from my pictures and from my lyrics.
This is amazing. Okay.
And so then there's 11 different denominations.
Okay.
Starting from 1 to 1 million.
Wow.
And this one is a 20, and it's 20 happies.
20 happies. Okay.
Yes.
Like that.
So happies are. Well, they do look kind of similar to dollars in a way, but a little bit more eccentric, perhaps.
Okay.
And so there's a title or a phrase from one of my songs, and on the backside, there's more of the lyrics.
Can you read some for us, please?
Yeah, sure. You ready? Here we go.
Here we go.
Your landlord tells you he's going to sue, and your parents say you belong in a zoo. Take a break. Take a breath. Take a break. Give it time. Why not wait? Enjoy your surprises, yeah. Accept your surprises, why not? Enjoy your surprises every day. They're gonna come at you anyway.
Wow, this is wonderful.
So there, and it's actually, I have an album, and that's the title of the album. This title of this song is the title of the album. And let's see, anything else? And I've had a wonderful experience working with a friend of mine as a graphic designer, Herman Joseph Feet, and together he helped me create this. And then there's a lot of little details and a lot of little ideas spread out upon it. So there it is. Enjoy your surprises.
Amazing. I just became a 20 happies reacher. Thank you very much. This is amazing. Wow.
And
this is something, guys. Okay.
So there, and I think that, I mean, I hit upon it just as a joke, and it's a very fortunate joke, and that is, and also I've had a lot. It took quite some time. We went through 3 different printings, and now this has nice paper and all that. And I've also had a wonderful friend help me to pick out which image went with which words, so it was just a joke, but there is an idea behind it, and that is that money is money, and we enjoy the process of having money, and because it helps us get whatever hopefully we want, and that may vary over time. But this puts together some values of ideas, and it mingles it in a comic way with the value of money and the value of ideas.
Right.
Yeah. So there.
Wonderful. Well, my channel is called Mountaintop Wisdom.
Okay, look at that.
So the question for you, my friend, is what is the wisdom that you would like to share with everybody watching us? What's the wisdom of your life, so to speak? What's the one advice you want to give to anybody watching us?
Your joy is beautiful.
Your joy is beautiful.
Your joy is beautiful, and you'll find your own way to express your joy.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a wonderful human being, Zou Zou. Zou Zou, I apologize, Zou Zou. We are sitting here in beautiful Goa. We have about 60 feet tall palm trees with coconuts above us.
We have a net above us, by the way.
They're right above us. The vibe here is beautiful. It's morning. We had a beautiful conversation and some amazing tea. If you have any questions, please feel free to write down in the comments. Hit all the buttons over there. Like, subscribe, whatever they put over there. I'll be happy to create more content for you and share my wisdom and talk with more wonderful people like Zou Zou over here.
Let your fingers do the talking. No, let your heart do the talking.
Let your heart do the talking always. Namaste, and thank you very much for joining us.
Friends, I have to tell you something. I'm just like you. I also get confused and disturbed, but I've been very lucky because I found something that works. And it's wonderful. I want to offer it to you all. Go ahead.
Hey, Kush. I wanted to do this live afterwards, I remembered, because I think it's very, very interesting. I make a joke with it in this little video. But the truth is that I have found, and I'm sure it's some sort of pranayama in a way, and that is when I grab this imaginary cigarette or imaginary joint, I breathe in very, very slowly with pursed lips, very small lips. And then I breathe out very, very slowly with pursed lips. And for me, I find that it gets me to a space of no thought. And actually I thought, this would be a really nice thing to show to your wonderful public. And it actually works in its lovely, sweet way you always carry this wonderful drug with you, and it's the air. And by breathing in really slowly and then breathing out really slowly through very tiny space, it has that effect on me, and I think it has effect on others as well.